name is Nicole Wimberly. As president of the International Association of Mystery Solvers, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this, our first annual Mystery Solver Hall of Fame induction banquet. As you know, tonight, we will announce which of our 3 finalists will be our first Hall of Fame inductee. The winner will receive a handsome medal and a bronze bust to be placed in our Hall of Fame. Also, the winner will receive $250,000 in gold Cougarans. I would also like to note that this is a special night for me as well. After many years of service, I am stepping down as president of the IAMS to enjoy a long-awaited retirement. Your current vice president and your next president, Ms. Claudette Pindu, will announce your finalists. Ms. Pindu has been rewriting our Constitution. Among the changes she has sponsored is a 2-term limit for presidents, which explains why I'm retiring. Ms. Pindu, if you'll announce the finalists, please.
Thank you, Captain Wimberly. I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say how terribly sorry we are that you will be leaving us. Before tonight's award is presented, I will briefly introduce the finalists and ask each of them to say a few words. Our first finalist is Miss Agatha Preakness, who has solved over 700 murder cases in her lengthy career. Her most famous cases include the murders at Istanbul and the 10 little Aborigines murders in Australia. She is considered Great Britain's most famous living detective. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Agatha Preakness. Miss Preakness. Ahem, Miss Preakness, you're supposed to give a speech.
A peach? No, thank you, dear. But a nice bowl of guacamole will be just ducky.
Miss Preakness, you're supposed to give a speech to the audience.
Oh, certainly, dear. But I can't do it while you're standing there in front of me, now can I? Be a good girl and go get me some guacamole. My dear colleagues, after 7 decades of solving various murders, everywhere from Austria to Zimbabwe, I never thought of a day as auspicious as this would arrive. I am reminded of the words of my great-aunt Winifred.
There's something. Thank you, Miss Preakness. Our next finalist...
Dear, did you get me my guacamole?
No, not yet, Miss Preakness. Our next finalist...
There is simply nothing better than a good bowl of guacamole.
Our next finalist...
Gracious! They invite you to be a guest of honor and they can't even procure a simple bowl of guacamole.
I'll get your guacamole in a minute. Right now, I need to introduce the next finalist.
And a few crackers off to the side, if you don't mind.
We, crackers, certainly couldn't forget the crackers. Our next finalist has worked out of San Francisco for the last 50 years. He achieved prominence by solving the Maltese pigeon in 1948. He is accompanied by his secretary, Miss Wanda Winter. Now that Mr. Diamond has officially retired, Miss Winter will help him compile his memoirs for the past 5 decades as a private detective. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Diamond.
Thank you, all. Now, I've been a private eye for longer than some of yous have been alive, and I can tell you, it ain't the same as it used to be. Back in my day, if you wanted information from a stoolie, all you had to do was threaten to fill him full of hot lead until he squealed. Nowadays, you gotta obey laws and stuff. Why, you can't even smoke anymore. I've been smoking for 50 years, and it never hurt me any. Never hurt me. Get your paws off me. I ain't done yet. I just want to thank Wanda for all the help she's been to me all these years. I don't remember things too good no more. But Wanda, she's got a mind like a what's-it-called.
Oh, a steel trap, Mr. Diamond.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks, Wanda, and thanks to all you guys for this honor. Oh, and one more thing. I want to encourage all of you to contribute to the Mystery Solvers Retirement Fund. I don't mind telling you that this old detective don't have much of a nest egg built up. Guys like me, we need your help.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Our final nominee is...
Dear, I'm still waiting on the guacamole.
Would someone please bring Miss Freakness some guacamole? Thank you. Now then, our final nominee is the late Sherlock Holmes. He is known worldwide for his incomparable skills at observation and deduction. Perhaps his most famous case is the Hound of the Baskervilles. Tonight, representing the family of Sherlock Holmes is his great-great-grandnephew, Foster Holmes.
Please, no, thank you. Very pleased to be here tonight representing my great-great-granduncle in the company of so many prestigious detectives. And as Sherlock always said,
Up with Watson, down with Holmes! Up with Watson, down with Holmes!
Here now, what is the meaning of this?
How dare you interrupt our dinner?
Young lady, I warned you not to come here tonight.
Chief Stan, is this that Watson girl that's been stirring up trouble all week?
My name is Jennifer Watson, proud descendant of a long line of Watsons. Sherlock Holmes is a fraud. My great-granduncle, Dr. Henry Watson, solved each and every one of the Holmes cases. That's preposterous. Holmes was the genius. Watson just records the events. My great-granduncle was too modest to admit what a great sleuth he was. He allowed his friend Sherlock to take the credit, just like this self-aggrandizing lunkhead is doing tonight.
hey, you watch what you're calling whatever it is you just called me.
Miss Watson, you keep mouthing off to everyone like that, and I'm gonna haul you off to county jail.
Why, yes, some jello would be lovely.
A grave injustice is about to be committed here. I will not stand idle and allow the perversion of justice to take place. Up with Watson, down with Holmes. Up with Watson, down
I've
with
heard enough of
Holmes.
this claptrap, lady, all right? If Sherlock Holmes and his faithful sidekick, Dr. Watson's sidekick, like the Lone Ranger and Tonto, Batman and Robin.
Well, howdy doody and Buffalo Bob.
Are you calling my great-great-granduncle a dummy?
If the strings fit, wear them.
Everyone, please be quiet. Miss Watson will give ample consideration to your claims. Now, won't you let us continue our ceremony?
You promise a fair hearing on the matter?
Yes, now sit down and let's go on. Mr. Holmes, perhaps it'd be best if we moved on, if that's all right with you.
Of course, Captain Wimberly. I wouldn't want to disturb tonight's proceedings, as others have.
At this time, I'd like to ask Chief Harley Stanton to say a few words. Chief Stanton.
Howdy, I'm happier than a flea on a bulldog to be here tonight. Being the chief of police in a place like this, I haven't had the opportunity to solve as many cases as my other nominees. But just to toot my own horn a little, I'd like to tell you about the time old Farley Dunbar's prize coon dog showed up missing. There were lawmen from 3 states hunting for that hound. They searched up one side of the farm and down the other. Well, I figured the best way to find a coon dog was to think like a coon dog.
That must have been a very simple task for you.
Excuse me?
I was just asking for a basket of fruit, dear.
Well, to make a long story short, yours truly found the dog. He had just crawled up into one of the old houses around here and gotten lost. You know, a lot of the old houses around here have secret passageways to smuggle. As a matter of fact...
That's Batman. He's got to be in Zanzibar. What?
Well, I guess I know when my time's up. It is now my pleasure to reintroduce to you the president of IAMS, Nicole Wimberly. Nikki, come on up here and present this here award.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present this medal and these gold coins to the family of Sherlock Holmes.
she seems fine other than a knife sticking out of her back.
She's there!
No.
You know, I'm not one to stick my nose where it don't belong, but shouldn't somebody maybe call the police?
Oh, boss, that's an excellent idea.
Now hold on, I'm in charge here. We're gonna do things my way. This is under my jurisdiction. Miss Bindu, please go to the kitchen and call the police.
The man obviously has a gift for leadership.
Excuse me, Chief Stanton, but isn't it possible we're waiting for the police? Oh, dear me, why do I ramble on so? But isn't it possible that the murderer could be making his escape?
Okay, everybody stay where you are. Nobody move. Ooh, missing.
Well, other than Miss Pindu, everybody is exactly where they were when the lights went out. Besides Captain Wimberly. Oh, by the way, was the captain holding a bag full of gold coins?
Perhaps they're on the ground.
If you want my guess, when we find the murderer, we find the coins.
What makes you so sure it was a murder, Diamond?
Stabbing oneself in the back is not a common method of suicide.
What is it, girl?
The phones are dead.
Well, it's probably a storm.
I don't think so.
Why not, sweetheart?
Because the phone was right out to the wall.
Okay, okay, calm down. When I don't check in, my deputies will come on down here and check things out.
And when will that be?
6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Oh, swell. So we're stuck in here with the murderer until then.
Not necessarily. We could simply leave.
Nobody leaves here until this case is solved.
Then perhaps we should turn our attention to finding the murderer before the murderer turns his attention to us.
Well, if I had my guess, it'd be that I had young Vixen over there. We all know she had a bone to pick with Wimberly. And Foster getting the award could have put her over the edge.
Yeah.
Good thinking, Chief. It was really clever of me to stab her while standing all the way over here. You might consider the finalists. They were a bit closer, especially Mr. Holmes.
Me? What motive would I have? I was getting the money. Why would I kill Wimberly?
Well, you may not have had the motive, chum, but definitely had the best opportunity. You were right behind her when the lights went out.
Well, so was Claudette Pindu. And everyone knows that they didn't get along.
Captain Wimberly was like a mother to me. I never would have killed her. Not even for a sack full of gold. If anyone did it, it was Mr. Diamond. He told everyone that he was bankrupt.
Each and every one of us is a potential suspect. We should not start placing blame until we have more facts.
Well, one way or another, we're all in here until this case is solved. No way am I gonna let a potential murderer walk right out that door.
Well, let's try to look on the bright side.
The bright side? What bright side is there? A woman was killed, my money was stolen, stuck in here with a hick sheriff and a bunch of old detectives. This little girl's been maligning over my ancestry. How much brighter can this get?
No, really, with all you great detectives, especially Jack, this case should be a snap to solve.
I wouldn't be too sure about that. Mrs. Preakness was right when she said we're all potential suspects. And if one of us is a murderer, he or she is going to be tough to catch. No one in the world knows more about killing someone than a detective. And if one of us is the murderer, the rest of us could be victims.
All right, listen up. I'm gonna go try to fix that phone. Don't nobody go nowhere, and don't touch anything.
I have to go and inform the kitchen staff about poor Mrs. Wimberly.
Excuse me, young lady, but if you're going to the kitchen, I should very much like to go with you. I feel I must give my compliments to the chef. His hors d'oeuvres are simply scrumptious.
Well, Toots, it looks like we're stuck in here with the dead girl.
Gee, boss, do you think she's really dead?
Let me put it this way. Next time she goes to the shoe store, they'll have to take the toe tag off first. Yeah, but don't worry. Old Jack will take good care of you.
Thanks, boss. That means a lot to me.
Ah! Wow, really impressive. Judging from that, I guess you'd be pretty good at...
At what? I'd be good at what?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying you'd probably make a pretty good sidekick.
A what? Sidekick? I'll show you, sidekick buster. Hi-ya! Yeah! No one has ever been a sidekick. You're even dumber than that pretentious great-great-granduncle of yours.
My great-granduncle was so dumb, then how dumb did your Dr. Watson have to be? He was only a sidekick.
I'm gonna get you! Get back here! Come over here!
You guys, come look at this.
Come here. I see what you mean. That is unusual.
Yeah, really unusual. What exactly are we looking at?
Come on, Foster, isn't it obvious? The angle of the blade.
Oh, right. The angle of the blade. What exactly are we supposed to notice?
Spoken like a true sidekick.
What?
Look here, Mr. Holmes. Normally, when someone is stabbed, the blow sort of comes down like this. You see?
Not really.
I'm sorry, Mr. Diamond, but I must disagree. Most murderers don't use the Sicilian grip anymore, particularly if the blow came from the left side, if the murder was left-handed. May I borrow your paper?
Oh, sure.
Thanks. See, if the killer used a Bangladesh side hand movement, would have driven the blade up this way.
But really, that blade doesn't fit this either.
I know what you mean. I've never seen a wound like it.
All right, come on. You can...
It was like that. No, the murder doesn't matter. It was like that.
Excusez-moi?
Yeah.
Am I interrupting something?
No,
it's
not.
Not really.
I was just speaking to the chef. He has a very good idea on how to take care of the body.
Are you serious?
No. You don't understand. He wants us to put the body in the freezer.
So we can eat it later?
I mean, we should put the body in the freezer where it will be safe until it can be examined.
That's a good idea, Miss Pindu.
No, not so fast, Miss Smartypants. Putting the body in the freezer could destroy valuable evidence.
So could leaving the body out here.
The police haven't even got here yet.
I really believe this is the best course of action.
And who put you in charge?
And who asked for your opinion?
What's for yours?
Look, you guys do whatever you want with the body. Me and Juan are going down to the basement. I just thought of something.
Fine, Jack.
Whatever.
Gee, boss, you're so detective-y.
You're so pig-headed.
You're so obnoxious.
You're a moron.
You're an idiot.
You're an imbecile.
You're a buffoon.
You...
Excusez-moi?
Yeah, what? Oh.
But there's still the body to deal with.
Jenny's right. We gotta find some other place to put it.
Well, why don't we put him in the freezer?
Just got done with that.
Yes, that's what we were just saying. Foster, why don't you and the chief move the body into the kitchen?
Come with me, boy. I have just the thing.
Oh, God.
Okay, you grab the head and I get the feet.
This is
Left,
the worst idea
left,
I've ever heard.
Left. Oh,
You're an
Have
idiot.
fun.
okay.
Oh, thanks, Jenny. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, here we go. Okay, back it up.
You're an idiot.
Back it up.
Did you get the kitchen?
Back it up.
Miss Pindu, I couldn't help but notice that you and Captain Wimberly seemed a bit at odds.
It's true, we had been fighting. But I did not kill her. I didn't.
What were you fighting about?
We disagreed about the award ceremony.
So you didn't want Foster to win either.
Oh, no. I was very pleased. I like Mr. Holmes very much. He's very handsome, don't you think?
I hadn't thought about it. If it wasn't Foster, what was the problem?
I'm afraid it was personal. But more than that, I will not say. Why are you accusing me? I've already maintained my innocence.
Miss Pindu, I can't help but feel that you're hiding something.
Perhaps by accusing me, you can take the suspicion off of yourself.
Miss Pindu, are you willing to write down the fact that you're innocent?
Write it down?
Yes, please write down, I am innocent, and then sign it.
I believe this is preposterous, but if it will establish my innocence.
What is the problem?
I'm nervous, and when I'm nervous, I become ambidextrous.
Fascinating. Thank you, Miss Pindu. You've been very helpful.
Claudette, dear, could you please get me a glass of ice water? I am virtually parched with the heat.
Of course, Miss Preakness. I'll be right back with your water.
Gracious, what an evening. But the kitchen was a pleasant surprise. Absolutely gorgeous. The chef has everything arranged so perfectly. The flatware stacked, the glasses in rows, the cutlery.
I believe that's very interesting, Mrs. Preakness, but this is more important. I think Miss Pindu is involved in the murder. If she stabbed Wimberly, she could have used either hand. She's ambidextrous. That might explain the unusual angle of the blade.
Yes, dear, that's fascinating, but about the cutlery.
Here's your Watson, Miss Preakness.
Thank you, my dear.
I think I forgot something. I'll be right back.
Where's Chief Stanton going?
I think he said he left something in the basement. I had to go get it or something. I don't know.
That's probably Jack and Wanda. They've been down there a while. I hope everything's okay.
If it is, it'd be the first time tonight. What were you and Miss Preakness talking about?
What does it matter? It's so sad, Foster. She won't remember anything. She was my idol growing up. Well, her and Dr. Watson, of course. But now, she just can't seem to focus. She's always babbling on about something meaningless or sending Miss Pindu on some errand.
Sorry to hear that. Speaking of Miss Pindu, it's awfully nice, don't you think?
Foster, stay away from her. I think she is dangerous.
Listen, I appreciate your concern for my
Always
welfare.
sarcasm with you, isn't it?
No, really. I really like knowing that there's someone out there looking out for me, you know?
Thanks, Foster.
That's expected. I found these folks looking around downstairs. Didn't I tell y'all to stay put?
Yeah, whatever. Hey, you guys, look what me and Wanda found in the fuse box.
What is it?
Elementary, my dear Holmes. This device temporarily bypasses a fuse, breaks the circuit, then automatically resets it. The resulting blackout looks like a normal occurrence.
Oh, boss, that's just what you said.
Just hold on a pig knuckle minute. Are you telling me someone planted this device?
Yes.
Somebody turned the lights off on purpose?
Yes.
Somebody did this also they could kill Captain Wimberly?
Yes.
No!
Yes!
You know, as I was saying before, when I was in the kitchen, I noticed how tidy the staff had kept the kitchen.
With all due respect, Mrs. Preakness, we've got bigger fish to fry right now.
Come on, Chief. Let's hear her out.
Thank you, my dear. Now, I noticed that in the kitchen, every piece of silverware has a designated spot. Every fork, every spoon, and every knife. Every knife was in its appropriate spot, with the design on the handle quite visible. Every knife, that is, except for one small paring knife. If we remove the knife from the poor captain's body, I'm quite sure we will find the missing paring knife.
Well, that's a real surprise. Mrs. Preakness, we all know that Captain Wimberly was stabbed. And it made sense that the murderer would use a knife that was already around here.
So then maybe we have to get the kitchen staff in here, you know? Put them over the grill, rake them over the coals, make them spill the beans. Get it? Kitchen staff, grills, coals, beans? Nobody? Nobody at all?
He's not funny.
Anybody?
Ha ha, ha, ha ha ha. Anyone could have gotten the knife from the kitchen. It's even possible that I gave the murderer the opportunity to get the knife when I interrupted the banquet.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Give him the opportunity to get the knife?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you just walk in and go, oh, let's go murder someone with a knife. Yeah, that's not
The
how it goes.
point you are all missing is this. A paring knife may have a large handle, but it has a relatively small blade. The only way such a small blade could cause death would be to sever a major artery. When the captain's body was being transported to the kitchen, I noticed that there was only a small amount of blood around the wound. Given these facts, I must conclude that Captain Wimberly was not stabbed to death. In fact, I'm quite sure she was poisoned.
Poison? How can you be so sure?
Because it seems that I've just been poisoned myself.
Now ain't this a fine kettle of catfish? 2 people dead and the murderer is still on the loose.
Oh, boss, I'm scared. I mean, who's going to be next, you know?
Don't worry, Wanda. I'll find the guy responsible.
What makes you so sure it was a guy, Diamond? I'm still not sure about Miss Watson over there. She spent a lot of time alone, Mrs. Preakness. Could have poisoned her, put her in the ice water. You know, she was drinking that right before she died.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Miss Watson didn't give us the water. I did. I didn't kill her.
Well, then who put the poison in the ice water?
I don't know. Actually, anyone
anyone could have put the poison in the water. We were so busy arguing about the knife that none of us would have noticed. Besides, we don't even know that the water was poisoned. She could have been poisoned at dinner. We all might have been.
All of a sudden, I don't feel so well.
Wanda, is it poison?
No, I'm just really, really scared.
All right, let's all calm down. We need to find the next logical course of action.
You're right, Foster. And the only logical thing to do is split up and look for clues.
Now hold on, this ain't no Scooby-Doo. What good is splitting us up gonna do? Unless you want to knock us off one by one.
Stan, I don't want to get close enough to you to kill you. It's simple. While we wait, the evidence we need may already be deteriorating. Besides, safety in numbers doesn't seem to help much. Both murders occurred while we were all together. Maybe the killer likes to operate in front of a crowd. Our best bet is to flush him or her out in the open. If one of us discovers a clue, the murderer may be kept unaware of it until it's too late. Also, we have the award money to find. Chances are the murderer hid it somewhere around here.
I think splitting up makes a lot of sense. Me and Wanda go down to the basement for more clues.
Sorry, Jack. I don't think that's such a good idea.
Oh, yeah, pretty boy? Why?
Well, we can't afford to trust anyone right now. If one of us is the murderer, odds are someone else is involved. I don't think it's such a good idea for you two to just go off on your own.
The boss wouldn't kill a fly unless it really deserved it.
Everyone's a suspect. I'll check out the basement, and I think Miss Pindu should come with me.
Thank you, but no thank you. I would prefer to go with Foster. He can protect me if we run into trouble.
We're gonna go check out the kitchen now. All right.
Well, then I'll go to the basement with Miss Watkins.
I don't think so, hillbilly boy. I'm going to the basement, too. Wanda will stay here so you good guys don't think I'm running off.
I'll keep an eye on Wanda. I need to go over a few things here. Let's meet back here in about 15 minutes.
Gee, Miss Watson, I didn't know Mr. Holmes and Miss Pindu were a couple.
Neither did I. I wonder if... No, Foster wouldn't kill anyone, would he?
Was that one of those rhetorical thingies, or was I supposed to answer?
Oh, never mind, Wanda. If you could you take some notes for me while I think?
I'm sorry, but I don't take dictation.
You don't? But you're a secretary. Why would he hire you if... Oh, never mind. If you could, just listen. It helps me think if I talk things over.
No problem.
Food looks good. No sign of discoloration. Seed appears normal. No sign of poison needles. Iced tea with ice melted. I wish I would have paid more attention to where people were and what they were doing and eating and drinking.
Oh, well, let's see. Chief Staten introduced Captain Wimberly, patted it on the back, and sat down right here. Chief Staten had the regular entree with iced tea and no sugar. He put blue cheese dressing on his salad. Miss Pindu sat there. She had only a plain salad with her tea, no ice. She had 1 sugar. Then there was Mrs. Wimberly standing here. Except when the lights went out, she was like this. Oh, she had the regular entree with iced tea and sugar and a salad with Thousand Island. Over here was Miss Preakness, who also had the tea with artificial sweetener and a salad with oil and vinegar. Oh, and that bowl of guacamole. Then the boss sat here. He had the regular entree, but he didn't eat any because he said it gives him indigestion. He had iced tea with extra sugar. The boss never eats salad. Then there was me. I had the salad with fat-free dressing because I'm watching my figure, and I had water to drink. Then there was Mr. Holmes, who had the regular entree with salad, with ranch dressing, plus iced tea with both sugars and artificial sweetener.
That is incredible.
He didn't just hire me for my looks, sister.
Obviously not. Wanda, I think we need to check out the basement.
Does this dress make me look fat? No. Really?
Oh, we didn't find any new evidence in the kitchen, but where is everyone?
I have no idea. But to be honest, Foster, I'm glad we're alone. I wanted to know how much I admire you. You are so smart and so handsome. You're the only one I can trust.
Pindu. That name is French, isn't it?
Excusez-moi?
Your name. It's French, right?
Oui, but honestly, Foster, you make me so mad I could...
Kill me? Oh, everyone, so glad you're back. I have an announcement to make. The murderer is Claudette Pindu.
What? Fascinating. How did you discover this?
Well, you see, elementary, my dear Watson. Her last name, Pindu, is French. In fact, it's an anagram for the word dupin. Her first initial is C. Her last name is Laudette. If you combine them, you get C. Laudette. That obviously referring to someone who made, laud or in praise. Someone I consider august. Anyway, in reality, her last name is Dupin. Therefore, that is why and who she killed Captain Wimberly and Mrs. Preakness.
What?
Mind if you got that?
Okay, just between the two of us, I don't think anyone here has any idea what you just said.
I'm trying.
Allow me, Mr. Diamond. Foster is suggesting that Claudette Pindu is the great-great-granddaughter of C. Auguste Dupin,
Dupin.
Sorry.
the famous French detective whose exploits were recorded by Edgar Allan Poe. Foster would have us then believe that Miss Pindu killed Captain Wimberly as an act of revenge because her ancestor wasn't a finalist. Is that it, Foster?
Actually, no, not really, no. I just figured because, well, Claudette Pindu is French and they were British, and we all know how French people hate British people.
Boy, as stupid was they, you'd have omelets every day for breakfast now, wouldn't you?
Well, at least we know who the murderer is, right?
I don't think so. I mean, sure, she had the chance to poison Wimberly. She might even have the chance to poison Preakness, too. But there's something she couldn't have done. Remember when the lights were dark and she couldn't see and she was stumbling over everyone? And then later, she refused to go down to the basement, which is really dark. That made me think of something. Maybe she can't see too well in the dark. That little trick just clinched it.
Well, what's the point here?
The point is that there's no way she could have planted that electrical device down in the basement. It's too dark for her to see, even with the light on and a flashlight.
Well, then I guess she couldn't have stabbed Captain Wimberly either. It's too dark when that happened.
Actually, Foster, she could have. Wimberly was stabbed while the lights were still on. But don't worry, Claudette. I don't think you're the killer. You're not bright enough. However, the discovery we made in the basement shows exactly how the murder was committed and how the murderer expected to get away with it.
This ought to be interesting.
While we were down in the basement, Jack and I checked out the garbage cans. There's a garbage chute that drops directly down from the kitchen. Inside one of the cans, Jack and I found traces of Kosover melon.
I've never heard of this Kosover melon.
Is it good?
Kosover melon is a rare tropical plant whose fruit is extremely toxic. Once I realized that Kosover melon was involved, the murder all made sense. We had all assumed that Wimberly had been stabbed until Mrs. Preakness declared that she had been poisoned. The Kosover melon was the perfect choice. It begins by numbing the nerves of the thorax. Eventually, the victim experiences total cardiovascular arrest.
I get it. So the murderer waited until her nerves were sufficiently numb and stabbed her. She wouldn't even have noticed it. Am I right? Huh? Am I?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm still not understanding it a little. Can you explain more?
Please go on.
What was the poison?
Kosover melon juice can be frozen. Once it's frozen, it becomes non-poisonous. But if allowed to melt, say in Captain Wimberly's tea, it becomes lethal again. Interestingly enough, once the poison is absorbed in the body, freezing it renders it undetectable. Since we put the bodies in the freezer, we never would have known what the poison was if Jack and I hadn't found traces of Kosover melon in the trash.
Now hold on there, Missy. I was right down there in the basement with you the whole time, and I know you didn't find any Kosover melon peels in the trash.
You're absolutely right, Chief. But I never said anything about peels. I just said traces. The paper towels the killer used to wipe his hands with were soaked with the juice.
The only way you would know about the peels is if you peeled them yourself with the paring knife, then put them down the garbage disposal when you poisoned the tray of ice. The same tray you used to poison both victims.
What are you talking about?
Oh, the jig is up, Chief. Once Wanda and I went over the details of dinner, I knew it had to be you that stabbed her. The reason the angle of the blade was so strange is that you stabbed Wimberly when you patted her on the back. You knew that by that time she wouldn't even feel it when you stabbed her, and you almost got away with it.
Well, I'll still get away with it. You're not pinning it on me, not when I can still do this.
Good workings, guys.
You can let me go now?
Oh, right. I could have got away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids.
This ain't no Scooby-Doo.
Why, Stanton? Why'd you do it?
What, are you stupid? I did it for the money. There's no money in being a detective in a town like this. I had my retirement all planned, and now it's ruined. Ruined!
Jean Luce, Jean Paulette, Jean Claudette, come take this bourge oof away. Oh, don't hustle. Go, now. Ruin my dinner, will you? Go, now. Well, Foster, I guess that about wraps it up. Obviously, Stanton pulled the phone out of the wall in advance, right after he poisoned the tray of ice. Later, he saw Mrs. Preakness snooping around in the kitchen. When she figured out that the knife couldn't be the murder weapon, he poisoned her too. I'm betting he distracted Claudette and dropped some of the poisoned ice into Mrs. Preakness's glass.
Amazing. I can't believe we found the
Guess that pretty much wraps it up. But what about the money? Well, sure the murderer probably hid it in the wall somewhere around here. I don't really need it. I was gonna donate it to the Mystery Solvers Retirement Fund anyway.
Do you think anybody will ever find that money?
Oh, man, my memory must be getting worse. I found this down in the garbage chute when we found the crossover melon. I figured I'd just donate it to the Mystery Solvers Retirement Fund, like Foster said.
But boss, you're the only retired mystery solver.
Now that you mention it, I am.
Well, Foster, I have to admit, donating all that money, that's pretty generous.
Well, my family's accumulated a large sum of money over the years. I really don't need it.
Exactly. By rights, that money belongs to my family.
Oh, don't start that again, Jenny. Psychics maybe get usually 20-25% of the money. It's a verdict you might want to use if you're going to be my sidekick.
Your sidekick?
Yeah.
If anything, you should pay me to be my sidekick.
Why would I pay you to be my
Who
sidekick?
figured out the poison?
I'm pretty sure
Gee,
that
boss,
was Miss Preakness.
I really thought they would get together in the end.
I think they will, Toots. As one person said, the problems of two little people don't amount to a hill of beans in a crazy mixed-up world like this. I think this could be the start of a beautiful relationship.